And that, Thomas, was the longest open in history. I forgot
you made progress.
I forgot to upload the video. So music is playing and I upload the video. I'm like, well, how in the hell did I forget that? Yeah, just minor details. Yeah. Like I mentioned, we were saying I can't get damn thing right these days, so I'm not even uploading the videos. Well, we were going to do shot in, but the Chinese New Year got in the way. So instead, we're going to do Rosehill in the land down under. About a handful of pretty solid races in there. Should point out before we get cracking that the going there is a soft 5. Earlier in the day, it was a soft 4, I think. So it looks like it's going in the wrong direction, Thomas.
It would appear that way. I saw soft 6.
Oh, so maybe it's going in the right direction then.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it'll, your mileage may vary. Let me take a look here and see what it's saying right now. Soft 5. It
says soft 5, yeah.
Yeah, soft 5. Okay.
Well, maybe going in the right direction. So a lot of the, the thinking in there for our 5 races included the footing. Of course, you have to consider all of the facts. One of the, easiest facts to prove is free tracks today over at Guarantee Tip Sheet tonight. We will have, get yourself prepped for the Australian pre-party racing with the dinner time racing at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown in lovely West Virginia. Make sure you take advantage of that. There's a link wherever you follow us. Tom, we're going to give our thoughts right now for Rosehill, starting in race number 6. This one is as you see here, the RANVET Stakes. It's 200 meters for 3 years old and up. BM 78. If we take a look at the track here,
it's 2,000 meters. I think 200.
Yeah,
that would be more quarter horse type racing.
Be like a high school track meet. Yeah. Speaking of which, did you see this 18-year-old kid that ran 15 miles an hour for an entire mile?
Yeah, I did not see that.
Yeah, it was I guess he set the record. Some kid, and the thing was, one guy was a couple steps behind him. So, anyhow, they're going to start here. They're going to make their way around the track. It looks like a pretty long ass race there, Thomas. From your experience there at Rosehill,
mile and a quarter. So
yeah, with a lot of turns. You got 1, 2, 3 turns in this race. So it's interesting in that respect. So from your experience, closers get out front. Does it matter with the crazy track?
I'm back with those, closers. I prefer that. But again, depends on what kind of pace you get.
And we'll talk about that right now.
We're going to look at that right now because there appears to be a bunch.
Yeah, a lot of speed in this one. So look out. You get out there and go too fast to really open the door for the closers as they settle down. Really, not a lot of them, though, that really want to be in the back. They'll all look like they want to be middle forward, so they might stampede all the way around the track. Closing speed is going to be key here. Sonucci thinks a little bit more late speed than Decadent Tail. Tom, tell your tale as to who's going to win.
Well, I am going to make one comment quickly, is that the odds on this in this race are pretty good. So this is an interesting betting race. I think the favorite is 4.5 to 1.
Well, right now it looks like you got 2 co-favorites at 5.5 to 1.
Yeah. Well, no, the one I'm going to pick to start with was the one I thought would be the favorite, and that's number 5. CAPTIVANT raced back of the field last time. Ran on nicely, or got second place by about half a length. This was a race at 1,500 meters. But its wins have come at 1,800 meters or greater. So I looked at this one as maybe a prep race. Second up, he has no wins. So that's a little bit of a concern. But he's won at this track, and jockey change, I think, is very positive. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Age of Sail is going to be my next choice. First race off the layoff was an adventure, to say the least. He didn't start good. He got bothered by 2 horses. He didn't really finish well. A mess. He's never won at this distance, but he's placed 3 out of 4 times. So second up, yeah, why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
and you need something to hit the board. And this one looks like it's that kind of horse. And then I will take that 10. So New Chi Methinks. Since layoff, raced 3 times. It's got 2 wins and a third. And that was in its first start. Moves up in class today in distance. But, this is a form horse. The other thing is that he gets a better post position today than he had last time out. So which is kind of interesting as being a comment on that. So because he was wide out last time, and this time he's a little more inside. So that could help.
Yeah, where you stop, I start, Tom, in the money, 9 out of 11 career. That's pretty solid. You look here on the wet track, that's pretty solid too. We're going to get that today. What I like about this horse today is if you look at the past performances in the race lines, you'll see that this horse tends to make huge moves in the stretch, getting a little bit of extra distance today so he can make that move even huger. And as I pointed out, does love the track having a little bit of moisture. I'm going to go with Our Anchorage. One of those 5.5 to 1 shots is my second choice in here. Third start after layoff. That's classic for sure. 2 for 2 when that horse has been at the distance of late. There you go, 2 out of 5. And then the last 2, I think it's 1. So not bad.
Yeah, it just gets that weight penalty.
Well, that means they think it's the best horse in the race.
Yeah.
Number 5, the one that you like, Capariki or something along those lines. That is the favorite. I missed that when I was talking about the other 2. This one should be better according to its resume in the second start after a layoff. It's another one that will be coming at the end, Thomas, that has a penchant for a little bit of wet weather. Finally, number 11, Decadent Tail. That's my final choice at 19 to 1. This is your Tom horse all the way. One that wins, probably not, but it still has enough W's in the in its columns that it could get there. In the money for sure, especially when the going is wet. 14 out of 23, not bad. And not bad on that price at 19 to 1 either. Let's move on.
That helps your exacta.
Well, like you mentioned, I think if you could take the 3 favorites and probably get a decent exacta here.
It looks that way.
And speaking of which, last week on that first race, Tom hit a really nice exacta. What did you said it paid $118, Tom?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you had the trifecta with your other horse too, which is a plus, which paid more, I'm sure.
A little bit.
The exacta.
I didn't play that. I only played the exacta.
So not going to go 135 meters, Tom. They're going to go 1,350 meters. It's going to start probably right about here, I would guess, in between 1,300 and 1,400. I think that's how that works. Come around the corner there, get that quick turn, another turner, make their way home. It looks like that corner comes pretty quickly. So would you want to post, Thomas, you think, somewhere down along this rail, or do you want that outside shot into that turn?
I don't want to get caught wide.
So inside better than outside.
I would much prefer the inside.
Let's see if you got some inside speed in this bad boy here. We'll take a look at the speed maps as they get rolling. Well, it looks like most of that speed's a little bit more to the outside. Well, post position 1, not bad. 3 and 4 in here. Infatuation, Lady Boss, they'll be going. Shangri Express, that 10 horse might be the one with the outside speed, could get caught wide. Tough spot to be.
7 horse. 7. He's got 7. Barrier 10.
Yeah, too much confusion. All right, a lot of these horses middle forward, Tom. But still, you got a couple out there. They can get away with some decent, easy fractions. They might be able to stay up there the whole race. Not a lot of real back closers in here. Everybody middle forward. Late speed probably could be important, but there might be a lot of traffic. I'd probably want to be middle forward in this group. Wrathful has the most late speed. A couple of other horses in there look like they'll tail off pretty badly, including those speed horses up front there, Tom. When they add it all up together, who's going to have the best combination?
Well, I did take one of the speed horses, and that's number 7, Shangri-La Express. Showed speed in his first start after the layoff, and then backed up and ran 5th. They had him in a listed race after the next race up, and yeah, that was not a good move. That's not the level it belongs at. He's back to a level where he's won, should be much more competitive. And a change of jockeys. This jockey has 5 rides on this horse. She's won twice and placed twice. And they're also adding blinkers for the first time. Number 2, Bunker Hut is going to be my next choice. Ran 4th as the favorite last time at Rosehill. It was at this level. After running 2nd 3 times since his layoffs. So he's had some form. Has a win at this distance. But he's a lot better at placing because he got 7 of those. It's close to the pace. Well, we know we're going to get pace in this race. So let's hope that he can hang on there. Finally, I'm going to take a Step Aside. It's my final choice. I'm tossing out the last race. The rider was unseated. The horse got bumped and was sent to the inner rail, which the rail popped off. So that's not great. It was first star of the layoff. Looks okay otherwise. I mean, he's won first up, second up. I mean, he's placed second up. The distance is correct. He's won 3 times. He runs in this race course. He's won 1 time. Change of jockeys will help, and just needs a better trip, and maybe a little less traffic.
Yeah, well, maybe not run into the rail would be helpful, right?
I would hope so.
You have to be very good.
It can be a shortcut from if they do it in the backstretch.
Yeah, like in the fog, come out of the fog like that lady who supposedly set a record in the marathon. Yeah. I'm going to go with Starman as my top pick. This guy's not been off the board.
You went with him last time.
Well, I like the name.
Last week.
I don't know.
Last week he ran.
He ran too?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe this week he wins. Stick to it. 10-1. Well, I mean, he's pretty solid at the distance, but in the last 10 spots, he's been pretty solid. Never off the board on soft. I like to see that. Horse has done very well at the distance, has some success at the track, has some success at the track and distance. So if not, what do they say? If you don't succeed, try again. So I try again with Starman. Lady Boss. We all have one of those in our lives. Number 14, Speed, a little bit up in class. Second start after a layoff. And I think this is another one that has done some pretty good work when there's water in the grass. Number 8, Mogawi. I don't think I've ever gone with that one before.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I'll make it a priority going forward. Third start after a layoff. And what I like about this horse, Tom, is it has all sorts of ways that it can win in terms of running style. It can win from the front, the middle, or the back. So one of those very versatile types. And then finally, you like the 2-horse. I like the 2-horse. Bunker Hut, 7-1 right now. It is the most consistent performer probably in the race, but not one that really likes to win as much as it likes to finish in second or third. You can see that here in the distance. One time in 11, it won, but 7 times in 11, it finished second or third to help out with your exactas and your trifectas. So let's see if indeed it can do that again tonight. Race 8 is our next endeavor. Let me make sure I get that one. This one's going to kick off at 12:35 a.m. Eastern. It is a Group 3 for the SCHWEPPES Southern Cross Stakes. In this case, they're going to go 1,200 meters. Pretty sure how it works is they'll start right here in the chute. They'll make their way down. That looks like a pretty tight turn to me, Thomas. Does the picture illustrate what the track really does?
It's not as tight as you would think. And it's not a huge field either, so.
Yeah, I would still think you want to be more inside than outside heading into that turn. However,
preferably if you want the trip, either that or let's see if the front runner drifts out and you cut up the rail.
Well, let's look and see who the front runner might be in this case. Well, you got 2 of them, Tom. One on the rail in Willa Ido and Brundenell. Those 2 look like they're considerably quicker than everybody else. Those 2 should be out front. That's what we see here, too. Again, another one of those races where you don't really have one that really, really wants to come from the back. They're all going to kind of be, I think, tightly packed as they make their way into that turn. come back around that turn and then try to separate at the end. And the horses that will separate at the end, really not a big gap in there either. Our Gold Hope, Disneck, Accredited, Iona, Merck, they have a little bit more late speed than the rest. But, if the pace is right, the horses up front might be able to stay there, Tom. Who do you think at the end is going to cross the finish line first?
Well, I'm going to start with the one who's won the last 3 races. That's number 9, Accredited. It's going to move up in company to group for the first time. Shown speed in his races. He got himself in trouble last time out, but he still won, and that was at 1,400 meters, so maybe not the right distance. The other thing that's interesting about this one, the 3 wins are with 3 different jockeys, which doesn't really happen a lot. He's in form. I think he's going to get a group win. Number 7, Disneck is going to be my next choice. It comes into this race of a second place run in a barrier trial. He's won at this distance at lower levels. He's tried group level before, but without success. So a little concern there, of course. Maybe I think against this bunch, he's going to get a placing. Does prefer the firm going, but has shown some ability on the not the heavy track. Let's put it that way. Favorite last time, so somebody liked him. Finally, I'm going to take that one of the speed horses, and that's Bruden L, number 2. Ran 3rd last time at this distance in a listed race. Comment was interesting in this one that caught my eye was it was blocked at the end, and it could have won, was the comment on it. So I thought that was interesting. He's good at the distance. He's won or placed in the 3 of the races at this track, so he likes the track. I couldn't leave him off the ticket because of his percentages, which are high, 100% being in the money, and at this track, and must like something.
Yeah, I have that where you end, I begin again. So a theme again this week. I'm going to start with Brudenell as the top selection for me, Thomas. This one is one of those finely healthy horses. He rarely makes 3 starts in a row without a break. Well, he's going to do it today. And at least he hasn't done it in a year. Been pretty strong at the distance. You see there, as you mentioned, Tom, at the track, never off the board. And at the track and the distance, a win and a second place. Looks like when the track is soft, prefers the footing too. 2 out of 3 of them in the winners enclosure. Number 5, next on my list of horses to pay attention to, Williadao. That one, Thomas, in my view, runs well when it gets a little bit of time on the sidelines. Been off for 15 weeks, as you see right there. Winner of last 2 at Randwick and Rosehill Gardens. I like it because soft footing. Look at this, Thomas. 8 times out. 5 of them in the winner's circle. So in 8 other races, just 2 of them. And then I have Accredited. That's the likely favorite in here, the 9 horse, Tom. Right now, 3-1. Was like a morning line favorite, perhaps, in the early going, but at 1-1. The only question for me, though, is the horse really hasn't hit the winner's circle on any sort of wet track. Does seem to really fire in the good. So if the track continues to upgrade and maybe somewhere, of course, between here and there, it ends up being a good surface, that might be one that I would consider upgrading. And then finally, I'm going to go with Watagos, the 17-1 shot. The 4 horse tonight. That one is another making its first start after a layoff. Decent enough efforts off the bench to consider on first ups. And then has won at the track and the distance the lone time the horse had that opportunity. That's why I'm putting that one in my mix. Maybe we don't know it yet, but we're about to find out that he's a horse for the distance and the course. 2 more to go. That means race 9 is next up for us, Thomas. This one is the Inglis Classic Yearling Sale, 9/11 February. This is a BM 88 handicap. They're going to go 1,200 meters again. We just mentioned that's in that little gap back in here. Probably want to have a little bit of front end speed, at least be involved in the mix as it gets growing. Let's see which horses have the best chance to make that happen. Thomas, the speed map tells us there's 3 of them. The farthest outside, having the most speed, Cool Jackie could, because of the inside position, be able to put those 2 in a pretty tough spot as they make their way for home again. Another race where you really don't have a true closer. They're all going to kind of push up. There's going to be a lot of traffic coming home again. I would probably still want to be middle forward. A lot of commonality here, Tom, in terms of their late speed. This one looks pretty wide open. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I did. And that's why I took a long shot. Number 15, No Drama. Hasn't raced in 5 months, but has a good record at this distance. We will be taking a slight class rise for this race. He's won first up 3 out of his 6 tries. But he's never won at this race course. Has the inside posts, but he has tactical speed. So I'm expecting sitting 3rd or 4th and come up, get an opening, and come through it. Number 7, With Your Blessing, is going to be my next choice. He won his last race off a layoff at this level, going 1,100 meters. They made an equipment change last time. They took the blinkers off. Well, obviously that helped. He's won twice at this distance. His numbers second up are good, and running in the money, I think that's where he's going to do. Number 5, Overriding, is going to be my final selection. He'll run better today than he did last time. He had a wide post. He got caught out too far. He shifted behind, tucked in behind the runners. It was a listed race, so decent enough. I think the better draw is going to help him a lot. He's dropping a little, and he won his one barrier trial, and he finished 4th in the other one. And he's won twice first up. So I think you need to look at that one.
Well, you got some nice odds in this trio of picks. So if they hit, that trifecta or the exactive will be really nice. I will begin with Spring Lee, the 14 horse. This one there, Tom, it looks like it's going to be the favorite. A little chalky on my part there. But anyway, this guy's never really missed the money on a wet track. Bango right there, never off the board. Second start after a layoff. Horse has done pretty well there as well. Number 12 next for me, Eye of the Fire. Too many short prices for me. Anyway, this is another one that's making the second start after a layoff. The distance, check. The track, check. It doesn't have any track races. What the distance? Yes, here we go. 3 for 3. I'm like, wait, what did I miss there? And the footing, check. So checks.
Maybe your footing wasn't correct.
Yeah, no, I got it right. Just looking at the wrong box to check.
You're not spinning, huh? Your wheels are not spinning.
Sometimes they don't, Thomas. They're not been spinning lately. The No Drama, one that you like, Thomas, your long shot at the top. I have that one in there too. Lots of speed, and one of the angles for me is last time it ran a little bit longer. So cutting back in distance today should be able to help maintain that momentum all the way to the finish line. And then I'm going to go with Time to Boogie, baby. Back to the disco era, my friend Thomas. This guy likes to do well. Look at this. First time off the layoff, 5 times out, two wins in 3 seconds. That's 100%, no matter what kind of math you work with. And anything that wins at 100% on a small drop or hits the board 100% on a small drop, I'll put that in consideration. Last race for you and me today, Tom, is going to be race 10. That's the tab race. Before we do tab race, any idea what we're going to do for next week's races?
We will definitely do shot 10.
Definitely do shot 10.
And I did check I did check. And yes, they are racing on Sunday.
Okay, perfect. So we'll be able to take advantage of that. Shot 10.
Chinese New Year, I forgot to factor in there. And, what better way to celebrate Chinese New Year but go to the track with 75,000 other people.
Some money in your pocket to burn and hopefully come home with more than you started with. Sure. I for me, going to the track, coming home break even, good day of fun, where the break even means it paid for your lunch, it paid for your dinner, it paid for everything that you did there. And then you come home with at least as much money as you went with. To me, that's a winning day at the track, Tom. How do you define it?
Surviving, I think, is the best way I describe it. Is just don't get caught up in something you see in the paddock or whatever. Because I've, gone off my choice, and the horse I picked was still running. Or one I picked first time around was the one that won. Yeah, and that's nothing more aggravating than that.
I can't remember. There was a streak when Charles was doing the show with us when I would change a horse from my picks, and I would downgrade it or take it out of my picks. I think it won like 7 in a row. It's the best handicapping angle ever, unquestionably. So on this one, they're going to go 1,500 meters, Thomas. They're going to start back here in that chute, run straight down. Again, that turn, I feel like with the way these turns hook up, you probably still want to have a little bit of inside position. If we're looking at who's going to have that.
You don't want to get caught too wide. I mean, if you're 3-4 out, you're going to have troubles.
And it looks like there's going to be plenty of early speed contention in here. So a lot of those horses will be competing for that inside spot. Settling position. Again, strange that there's really not a lot of horses in the card today who really want to be way off the pace. These are all bunched up in front. I think it could get hot. I'd probably be looking in this group right here for somebody with some late speed. Let's see there's really not a big differential in late speed there as well. It's like Lincoln Rocks and Bel Air with the most of it. They should be in good tracking position, Tom. Who's going to be in a winning position when they are done?
I'm going to start with number 3, Bel Air. 1-2 starts back at the benchmark 90 level. It was a 1,400 meter race. His last race was an enlisted race. Finished 8th, but he came from 17th. So he obviously had some traffic problems. He's never run on this course, but he's won at 1,600 meters. So 15 maybe will suit him. Got the inside draw. He does have some tactical speed. And that's why I'm going to pick him to win. I'm going to take number 6, Matusam. Or Salem, I don't know. Matusam. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. He's won 2 races at the benchmark 78 level, and then they tried him in group run company. Not a good decision. He failed miserably. He's coming in off his preps are from barriers, average races. Nothing great, but nothing alpha either. First up, he's placed twice. So yeah, why not? He's won at this distance. He's also won it on this race course. So that's why I put him in. Number 8, Yorkshire is going to be my final choice. He's run in the money in all his races. 4 wins. He's won at 1,300, 1,350, and 1,400. So why not this distance? He'd be forwardly placed. Got a favorable draw. Big favorite last time out. This
time too, looks like.
Yeah. If he continues with his form, the draw is good. Show some speed or a little off it. I think he's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I think.
But I also like the big favorite second theory.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's going to be a big favorite. And I'm going to take 2 shots to beat him, Thomas. One with Sandpaper. 3rd start after a layoff. Last time the horse made a 3-race cycle. The 3rd was the best of the bunch, and he improved a little bit last time out. Right to the outside of Sandpaper is Space Age. 41-1, Thomas. We'll go with that one. Second up, all of his best work, Tom, on soft to heavy tracks. Hopefully they stays that way, but look at this number at the distance. 2 for 2. So he likes the heavy, it's the soft, he likes the distance. Why not today at 41-1? I will take that. There, I'm going to go with that favorite right there, Yorkshire. I mean, it's the even money favorite, kind of coming off of that a little bit, so a bit concerning. We'll see if that's the case when they leave the gates, when the real money starts hitting. As I mentioned, I took 2 shots to beat him. And then finally, I'm going to go with number 5, Lincoln Rocks. The 5 career wins, 4 of them on a wet track, 7, 3, and 1, 1 on soft. So we're going to give that one a crack in here as well, Thomas. And that wraps it up for today. As you mentioned, we will do Shaw Tin next week. That'll be fun. I always like the Hong Kong overnight racing. Yeah, don't really watch it. I'll be watching this. Santa Anita, Rumble Horse Tips. Basically, what I did was siphon Toby Turtle's picks. All right, we'll just don't let him know that. If you haven't done so already, kindly subscribe to all of our social sites. You see them. They are scrolling down below. Horse Race, the number 2 day, on Instagram, TikTok, X, Blue Sky, Facebook. If you haven't done so on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our programming, our picks. We will be doing parks on Monday and Tuesday of next week. We'll do Gulfstream Park Wednesday and Thursday. And then again, as Tom mentioned, for 4 and Friday, we shall do Hong Kong for Shaw Tin. A great lineup.
Slightly different than those first 2 you named.
You know, whatever is going on in Pennsylvania, though, you got to give them some credit for getting good fields. And
the field sizes are great.
Yeah.
And you're getting some prices, too. I mean, I hit on a 33 to 1 shot the other day.
And you're also getting, full fields.
Yeah.
And you're getting 10 races, 11 races. Fields.
You can't complain about that.
No. So whatever they're doing at Pennsylvania, other small tracks ought to really consider that, because even Penn National gets decent-sized fields when they run. So something they got right there, and maybe other states that are struggling that want to have their horse business grow might consider copying that model.
Yeah, the state bred program, too, is strong, so I think that helps.
Yeah, well, they've invested in that for sure. There's crappy rain in Chicago, too, right now. It's been raining all day. My poor dog, I don't know, you got a dog, Thomas.
Yep.
My dog.
It's sunny here, so.
Is it sunny? It's raining here.
Yeah, no, I'm in Milwaukee, and it's sunny, and I went to the dog park earlier. So, yeah, he got his legs stretched.
Mine won't go. We open up the door as soon as she smells the rain. I'll go back and hold it. Hilarious, anyway. All right, Tom, any final thoughts of wisdom from you before we roll out of here?
Enjoy these races, especially that first one we did to the 6. I think that is a nice betting race.
Well, based upon the odds of a lot of horses that you and I picked, if we happen to get them right, they'll all be nice betting races. That wraps it up, folks. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this weekend, again, free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet every day. Link in the description below where you follow us. Please use that. Subscribe, like, all of that good stuff. You know the routine, so that our channel can grow and be higher up in the search algorithms. And otherwise, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this weekend, have God's grace, God's favor, and everything end up in
the winner's enclosure.
Absolutely. We'll see you there. Have a great weekend.